so today I want to talk to you about how to get started with personal branding and specifically how to be very intentional about it if you are trying to use your personal brand to attract clients, to grow your business, especially if you are a service provider, a founder, a coach, a consultant, where you're using your intellect and your expertise to help people. So I've been in business for over 10 years, and several years ago, what I did was I switched what I was doing and I started really growing my personal brand, because in the past, I used to really hide behind my computer and I didn't really put myself out there. And then in 2017, I started coaching other businesses. And I want to share with you today what I learned and how I built a profitable business in the process. Now, I want to tell you, I made a lot of mistakes. And I want to share with you in this video how to avoid some of the things that I did and how to be intentional with how you develop your personal brand. So there's two elements in personal branding. Number one, there is your messaging. And this is highly dependent on what you say in your content. So what you say on social media, on your website, and any type of content that you produce to promote your business. The second element of personal branding is the visual imagery around your brand, okay? This is very important, and the visuals of how you show up will reflect the type of clients you attract. I know that firsthand because years ago, I feel like I didn't put as much attention to that when I was doing this. I was creating a lot of videos on like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, but I wasn't too intentional about it. And I saw the effects of that. So visual branding is really important. It's the photos that you take. It's the way you appear on camera. It's your personal style. This is part of your brand, even how you dress, the colors that you wear when you make videos and you take photos of yourself and you appear online. And also your website, the way you have your website designed. Does it look professional? Your photos, you're gonna wanna make sure you have good photos so that you can have it on your website, on your About You page. People are looking at these things. They're looking at the way you appear on social media. So for example, on Instagram, the way your grid looks, does it look cohesive? Do you have similar brand colors that you use over and over again? Because people will look at your social media, and if it's like all over the place, that's going to leave an impression. It doesn't look professional. You want to have a professional image. And then depending on the type of client you want to attract, if you're trying to attract premium clients, clients that are high-end, clients who are going to invest in you and pay you thousands of dollars, you're gonna really wanna be very intentional with the way you show up visually and in what you say. So we'll go over that whole thing today. At the core of all of this is, what do you wanna be known for? Your presence online, you're leaving a digital footprint. And what do you want to be remembered for? People can search your business name or your name and they can see. So when they do that search, if they're looking to like do research and decide if they want to work with you or not, you want to be remembered for the right thing. Also, think about your brand as also leaving a legacy behind. The way that I'm thinking right now is how I want Alma Bradford to be remembered. And I have a lot of big goals and a lot of big dreams. And so I want to make sure that people remember me for the things that I want to be remembered. And with all that said, I also want to share that currently, as I'm recording this video, I am in the process of pivoting my niche. So I used to be known for something else. Basically, I used to really be heavily in the freelancer world. So coaching freelancers and people in B2B. Now I'm expanding to founders, creatives, personal brands, coaches and consultants, service providers. So it's a little bit broader, and I have a lot I want to share with you. So in the next couple of hopefully weeks, you will be able to see some of the new changes I'm making. But I used to be known for one thing and I'm switching. So from experience, I can tell you this, for the over 10 years of creating content online, doing content marketing, having my personal brand on social media, I have learned that you really want to make sure you pair yourself with what you want to be remembered for. Your personal brand is also your value system. What do you really believe in? That is something you want to share with people so that you are remembered. And also, what are some of your thoughts on topics in your industry and your niche? You want to be really clear about that so people can differentiate you from the competition. Right now, social media is noisy. There's a lot of people, so-called experts, people that don't have any experience, just yapping away and making videos, and they're not good, okay? Let's just be real about that, right? So you want to stand out so that you can attract attention to your brand online. And one way to do this very powerfully is to have a contrarian take. This is where everybody in your industry is saying one thing and you have a completely different view on what they're talking about. That's how you stand out. One thing I can tell you in the women's coaching, women content creator space, a lot of us, and I want to be honest with you, I kind of fell victim to this in the beginning when I first started creating content online. A lot of women in this space will copy other people. So they see other people doing something, if they have a certain style, like everything down to the visual branding, they will mimic and copy the other people. They will try to be like the other women they see. If you do this, if you try to be like other people, you're going to drown in a sea of sameness. You're going to be like everybody else and you're not going to stand out. It's going to be harder for you to be different than others. People are going to be like, why should I work with you when, there's 10 to 12 other people saying the same thing that you say. They look the same way, like everything's the same. So you want to be different. I'm honestly going to tell you right now is like, that's the biggest mistake. And I'm in the process of rebranding my visual brand, like my photo. I am planning to do a new photo shoot. And even with those things like the photo shoot, the way I want to appear, that for me, I want to stand out. So I may try something very, very different and bold. Anyway, I did that before, I'm over it, and now I'm ready to stand out. So just take my advice and try to be different. Another thing you need to think about is when you are doing your personal brand, creating your personal brand online, being intentional about it, it's all about what you pair yourself or what you align yourself with, okay? A great example, a very famous example is, Nike and Michael Jordan. Nike wanted to align itself with the concept of athletic greatness, so it aligned with and it paired itself with Michael Jordan. Same thing with you. What you pair yourself with or you align yourself with and what you decide that you're not gonna align with needs to be really distinct and clear. So it needs to be very intentional. Let me give you an example. So a good way to promote your personal brand is by being a guest on podcasts because you're able to reach other people's audiences. It's a great tool for search engine optimization. When people type you in and look things up or they type in specific topics, you can come up if you're known for that topic, right? So when I said what you want to be known for, appearing on podcasts and talking about that topic on other podcasts, maybe you go on 10 different podcasts and you talk about the same topics, right, on different shows. In the world that we live in with now we have like AI SEO where people are going to AI tools and asking AI for recommendations to work with service providers, coaches, personal brands. They may be looking for a service, and if you position yourself the right way by appearing on podcasts, having the right content out there on social media, out there on the web, on the internet, you can get recommended, okay? But you gotta be intentional again to make sure that you only go on podcasts that reflect your brand, that you wanna align yourself with. That podcast host and the show needs to be in alignment. If it's not in alignment, if it's unprofessional. For example, in the past, I've been asked to be on certain podcasts, but when I go to the website, it's a mess. It looks unprofessional. The podcast doesn't have its own show notes. It's just unprofessional. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do it. Because I have a brand and I want to, if I'm going to be on a podcast, I have to align with the host. That person has to have a professional brand. They have to be in alignment with what I believe in and my values. So you have to be intentional about this. Don't just try to jump on 20 different podcasts, doing all these collaborations with people that you don't really, the way they do business, you don't agree with it and you don't want to be connected with that, right? So make sure you think about this and think about very, very thoroughly and do your research. The other aspect of your personal brand is being consistent in what you say in your content. If I go to your Instagram profile, I need to know right away in the bio what you do, who you help, how you serve them, how can they, how can I work with you if I'm trying to hire you or if I'm looking for help, right? You also want to make sure that your grid, the first 9 posts, I would say the 9-point grid, have content that if someone brand new came to it, they could look through that and they would know what you do and it would be very, very clear. So you have to be consistent on social media with your message, what you want to be known for. Talk about it all the time. You can talk about your topics and your expertise or what you want to be known for in various ways. You don't have to talk about the same thing over and over again. You can mix it up, but you want to talk about what you want to be known for from different angles, right? So a lot of people get burnt out because sometimes you get tired a little bit of talking about the same thing. But what I've come to believe over the past several years is that if you really are passionate about what you do or your niche or what you want to talk about, you really won't be tired of it. And I can tell you firsthand because I was not passionate about my old niche that I'm going away from. And, I have a lot of viral videos in that niche that I've actually recently got rid of them because I don't want to be known for that. But I wasn't passionate about that topic. And it was so hard for me to create content. It was so hard for me to come up here and start talking. I didn't want to talk about that much. So it was a struggle. So right now I'm very passionate about talking about the topics I've recently been talking about on my YouTube channel and on social media. Now, let's talk about consistency with your content and your messaging. Let's also talk about where you should be putting content out. I actually, number one, believe that you should have 1 or 2 long form platforms that you have your thought leadership content on. Your big ideas, what you truly believe, your methodology, your framework, your unique way of doing things on a long form platform. This could be YouTube, this could be a podcast episode, a newsletter. This could also be a book, an actual physical book. A book where somebody is actually sitting on the couch or in their bed, reading it before they go to sleep. It's sinking in here. The reason why is because long form content allows you to go deeper on a subject and really, really connect with the person who's consuming that content more so than short form content. And to me, short form content is most of social media. So Instagram Reels or short form videos, that's just really, it's hard to get a very deep thought out in under a minute or, under 3 minutes, right? So for example, I have some videos that are 20 minutes long I've done videos outside of, on YouTube that are an hour or more long because people are able to really connect and really take something away and really lock into me and lock into my brand. And that's what you want. You want people to lock into you. Now, once you have some content, I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a video podcast where you have your camera and you have your mic and you're just talking for 20 minutes, right? You could take that and then you can clip it into smaller little segments and then put that on social media. So your long form content becomes the foundation for what you're going to clip and put as shorter pieces of content on various social media sites. This actually makes it really easy to stay consistent. So for me, my long form platform right now is mainly YouTube. So I'll take one long YouTube video and then from there, I can splice that up into 4 or 5 topics and then create shorter form content for Instagram, for Threads, for Facebook, and other platforms. Now, the other part of this personal branding which I think I need a whole nother video for, especially if you're a woman. It's not just women, but it could be anybody, a man as well, but especially for women. A lot of times women are dealing with mindset issues with showing up online, with creating videos or just expressing themselves in whatever way, even a podcast, right? So there's a lot of identity work that you may have to do in this process of developing your personal brand. And I think it's really important that you have a system in place. And because, look, the bottom line is your energy is going to go up and down. Sometimes you're going to feel like talking, other times you're too tired to talk. You may have a lot of things going on in your personal life, right? So you don't have that energy to, talk to the camera or to do a podcast, even if it's audio. So you want to be working on that. There's a lot of things you could do to make this process pleasant and enjoyable. Number 1 is making sure you like what you're talking about. Number 2 is having a routine around how you get ready and get in the zone and the mood. Maybe you need to be in a beautiful setting. Maybe you need to get out of your house and go somewhere nice and go to a nice cafe and, put all your ideas on write it all out. And then this way you have something to help you, a guide for what you want to talk about. A lot of times when I do videos, I actually create bullet points of what I'm going to say so that I can just look at, right now I have my computer right here and I have my bullet points here and I'm not talking to it verbatim, but I can go back and remember something else I want to talk about today. A lot of it comes from my own experience when I'm talking. The bullet points allow me to hit all the important areas that I want to get through and the message I want my audience to take away. Now, if you're overwhelmed with all this advice you're seeing online, and you want help with creating content consistently for your personal brand, and you want to know what to say and what not to say, and how to craft a personal brand that delivers premium clients to you, I actually have a free guide and workbook where I walk you through these exact steps I'm taking right now that I've learned over the past 10 years creating content on social media for my own personal brands. And so you can go right below this video and download this free guide and worksheet, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you also subscribe to this channel.